The musical version of Mean Girls premiered on Broadway in 2018, and now a full-length movie musical is out in wide theatrical release. And as you know, we are huge movie fans here at Sallie Tomato, which is why we took the opportunity to hack some of our bag patterns in the fashion of some of the main characters from the Mean Girls movie. And it's also the perfect time to continue to wear all that Barbie pink we wore in 2023. The Queen Bee Regina, we styled our Jessica bag to match her fashion. The Jessica bag pattern is Regina's style through and through. It is a simple design, but it packs a big punch. For details on these styling changes, check out our blog for all the information on these pattern hacks. For this style hack, we've added an additional strip of faux leather on the top of the front and back of the bag. We also added additional interfacing to the body of the bag since we used quilting cottons for the majority of the body instead of Sallie Tomato faux leather or cork. The most exciting addition is the bag feet that are embellishments, because bag feet don't only have to be on the bottom of your bag. We have taken our dome bag feet and used them as embellishments on the Jessica strap as well as the top of the bag body. We widened the strap in the Jessica pattern to account for the installation of the bag feet. This is an easy way to get a studded strap look, and this technique can be applied to other patterns as well. We continued the same studded look on the bag itself by adding an accent strip across the top and adding some more purse feet. The additions of the hardware really elevate the look of the bag and give it more style. The cotton fabrics we used for the main fabric and lining fabric had wider selvage edges, so the gusset could not be cut in one piece, which is not a problem. There's plenty of fabric to create a two-piece gusset. Cut out pattern piece A for the front and back panels and set them aside. Then, referring to the pattern, divide the length of piece B gusset measurement in half and add your preferred seam allowance for a center seam. Next, cut 2 gusset pieces following your new pattern piece measurements. Repeat the same steps for the lining fabric pieces A and B as well as the interfacing. Foam for the gusset is best cut as one piece. Then follow the first step of the pattern instructions to fuse the interfacing to the coordinating pieces for pieces A, front and back. One optional suggestion for a 2-piece gusset is that if you'd like to create a smooth center seam in the gusset, you can trim the center seam allowance of the interfacing before fusing it to the wrong side of each main gusset piece. With the gusset pieces right sides together, sew the center seam and press it open. Top stitch a 1/4 inch from both sides of the seam to give extra detail and hold the seam allowances in place. Or you could top stitch after adding the foam for a slightly quilted look. Repeat these steps without the interfacing for the lining gusset pieces. Then you'll follow your pattern to attach the foam to the coordinating pieces, which is step 3, making sure the gusset seam is accurately centered on the foam. Next, let's review the cutting for the contrast fabric for the fun additions of bling. To accommodate the bag feet bling on the strap, cut piece E 2 inches wide and the length listed in your pattern. Next, cut 2 11.5 inch by 1.5 inch pieces for the top band accents. You can use the main fabric piece A pattern to shape the opposite short ends if you'd like. Then cut pieces C and D following your pattern. Next, I'll explain how to embellish the top bands and strap. Take a little time to plan the placement of the bag feet on the top bands and the strap, keeping them centered and allowing enough space for the top stitching. Plan your bag feet embellishment locations before marking their final positions to ensure that you have enough bling for your project. Use a removable marking pen or chalk to mark the fold line of the strap, as well as the top stitching allowances on the wrong sides of the contrast top bands and strap pieces. On the top bands, place one bag foot at the center, and one bag foot spaced 3 inches to the left and right of the center. For the contrast fabric strap, mark the center fold line and strap end. Fold up, allowing 4 inches so there's room to add Chicago screws. Then mark the center. The first 2 bag feet are positioned 1.5 inches to the left and right of the center mark, and the remaining bag feet are spaced 3 inches apart. Punch holes and install the bag feet. Since the bag feet are decorative, you can bend one prong over the other to keep a prong out of the seam allowance. Cover the prongs and washers with scraps of fusible interfacing to protect the fabric layers so they don't rub against your fabric. The next step is attaching the top bands. Use a removable marking pen or chalk or washi tape to mark the seam allowances on the right sides of the main fabric piece A front along the top edge and sides. It's also helpful to use double-sided basting tape just below the bottom edge seam. With right sides up, center one contrast top band at the top edge of piece A front panel, aligning the top edge of the top band with the seam allowance. Top stitch each short side edge and the long bottom edge of the contrast top band with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. The top edge of the band will be top stitched in step 10 of the pattern after the lining is sewn to the bag. Repeat the steps for the remaining contrast top band and main fabric piece A back. Then follow the pattern to complete your bag. And finally, we will show you how to attach the strap. The bag feet are already installed on the contrast piece E strap. Follow your pattern instructions to make the strap. Make sure to top stitch slowly. You may find that a zipper foot or very narrow foot is helpful for top stitching the long edges of the strap without hitting the bag feet or the washers between the strap layers. We think that these additions truly make for an eye-turning bag for anyone who wants this bag part of their collection. And like I mentioned before, we have all of the details for the pattern hacks in our Mean Girls blog post on our website, so you can create these bags confidently. Plus, you can find all of the links to the items I mentioned, including exclusive kits for these patterns, in the links in the description below this video. Here at Sallie Tomato, our team does an incredible job making kits for you, so it's easy to pick up a kit and start sewing right away. You have all of the supplies that you need on hand, ready for you to sew. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, we would love if you would give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspirational and educational content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll check out the rest of our tutorials for more creative projects. See you next time!